There we go. Okay. Okay. So this is an introduction. So it's brief. So we'll go through kind of what is EFT, what evidence supports it, how it works, and we will um, have a yeah, we've done some of it, and we'll have a context and talk, then an overview of the practice. We'll all practice together, and then I'll do an individual demonstration. We'll do some questions and discussion, and then I'll tell you what training's upcoming. Oh, we did this part already. I do this work because it really matters. It really matters to me that clients get to have ways to address issues for themselves, that they don't need a therapist with them all the time. And I know that's true, probably true for all of you. You want your clients to move on with their lives, to be able to address what's going on. So, and clinicians need ways to address their own issues, to calm their system down, to be able to be able to be more present in relationship to clients. We can get really triggered by clients sometimes, and it's important to be able to calm our system down so that we come back to a resourced and neutral place. This work is different. And like I said earlier, it's kind of like a bridge between the conscious and unconscious through the body. So a lot of counseling and psychotherapy can get very entrenched in kind of the pattern, the story. And it's not that the story isn't important, but the story can be very distracting and make it difficult to move on from that place. It can kind of be self-perpetuating, the story at times. And the body, while it has the memory of the trauma, it also, with some support, can really be a way out of that trauma as well. It's kind of like, in my view, it's kind of like the body is saying something, and if we can listen and figure out a way to calm it down, then it's going to change. So these are some case studies. I thought it would be helpful to give you a sense. So there was a woman with a history of sexual abuse and a lot of violence from a sibling. So she had a lot of dissociation that was so severe, it was like she knew something happened, but she wasn't sure what. So over time, especially with emotional freedom technique, that dissociation lessened, and then she remembered everything. It was, obviously difficult work, but it was very effective, and that was her intention, was being able to reclaim some of her memory, because there was another sibling that she wanted to support who could remember. There was a man who was raped very young and also living with an abusive family. EFT provided a way to calm down the body quickly. As you'll appreciate with all these, with these two case studies, they're very complex. So it does, so I'm not going to pretend that, you can just, step out of these things, use the EFT and it's so magic, but what is true is that you can get to a place of peace with the issue that you're focusing on. So that's why I kind of feel like it's a power tool, EFT and other energy practices. I also had a non-binary client with a history of alcoholic father and absent mother. And it was kind of this process of reclaiming the furious part of them. With all three of these, tapping and trusting. So kind of like the beginning of this, the beginning of this workshop, it's like listening and allowing it to be just as it is, not needing it to be different. And obviously you're doing tapping with the hope that it may change, but it's like a gentle holding. If you gave someone a hug, it may change too. There's different things that can change things, and EFT is just one of them. So this is Gary Craig and EFT, which there are some people who are repeating previous workshops, or not repeating, attending this workshop as well as another one that I taught. So some of this might be a little repetitive, and I might go a little fast for the new people. So EFT is based on traditional healing and acupuncture, and Roger Callahan was a kinesiologist. No, no, he was a psychologist who was studying kinesiology, and he was working with Mary, who was water phobic. Um, she didn't really change in kind of 18 months of working together. Nothing really changed, and he was using a pool of water for exposure therapy. And in this particular, he was studying some applied kinesiology and using meridians, and so he in a particular session he decided to ask her to tap her stomach meridian because she was saying her stomach hurt as she thought about her fear of water. So her fear of water was so severe that she couldn't walk in the rain. She had difficulty drinking, difficulty washing. So in this session, she taps this point, which is her stomach meridian under her eye, and she just suddenly was like, it's gone," and starts throwing water on her face. So it was really, really pronounced. So Callahan developed thought field therapy, which had specific protocols for specific issues. So like 3 different points for anger and 3 other points for sadness and this kind of thing. And Gary Craig just made it one protocol, to make it simple, and that was really, really helpful. So this is the idea, and in my view, this is about the field. So we think of psychological stuff as being in the head, or for me, being about the body. And Gary Craig talked about it's actually in the field. It's in the energy system. So it's something about and when there's a disruption in the energy system, if we can address that, then it can change. So we're talking about kind of energetic shifts. So for example, with those different clients at the beginning of the session being, or a little bit into the session, being very, very distressed, the body, the stomach, the heart, one system or the other, the throat maybe being shut down, a lot of different possibilities. Being able to kind of tap that out, calm it down, so that they're like, well, actually, I don't feel that way anymore. And I have to say, with therapists, I often find in training that they're very surprised. I mean, it really is a power tool where people are like, wow, this really happened. So I do share a little bit about my story just to give people a picture that, I am very connected to this work. I know it inside and out. I know how to use it. So I did have a lot of neglect. I was raised in what I like to call a cult, even though it doesn't say that on the slide. I didn't have a lot of contact with my family, and I was very emotionally overwhelmed and dissociated. So that's what I've been working on. And these energy tools have really helped me incredibly. And they also have great evidence too. So these are some of the different techniques. I have to say, well, I've been trained in guided self-healing. Tapas acupressure technique I use a lot. Matrix imprinting I use a lot, and emotional freedom technique I use a lot. But the others are also energy therapies and actually energy psychology techniques, and the field continues to expand. This is different research. I'm going to kind of skip over it a little bit. So here's a kind of a synopsis. There's over 400 identified forms of psychotherapy. Many of them have little or no research to validate them. Energy psychology is both evidence-based and the top 10% in terms of published research for psychotherapy modalities. NICE has asked that EFT have more research done to prove its effectiveness so that it can be listed as effective with PTSD. So the reason I put that, because they haven't decided that it is, that it has enough evidence yet, but they're asking that it gets a little bit more evidence, which is because it has a lot already, and they're beginning to think that they will use it. It's used in speech classes, and it's used in a lot of places. So EFT is used for so many things. I mean, that's why I wanted to give you those case studies. I know I'm talking fast, and if anyone needs to interrupt me to ask a question or something, please do. So EFT is used for physical pain. It's used for anxiety, depression, food cravings, addictions, trauma and PTSD, athletic performance. There was a guy in the last Olympics who was sitting there tapping before his run, and he did win. I'm not saying it's because of the tapping, but he did. So I would just try it on different things. I think that um, these kinds of practices, well, maybe it's true for every psychological intervention, that we kind of know it inside ourselves. We don't just say, "Hey, you should do this," but we know the pain that our we know that how that practice works, so that our client can use it in a way that's effective. Right. So this is the practice. Let's see. I can see some of you. There was something I was supposed to do. Um, it is. Yeah, I don't know how to do it. I looked at yeah, anyway, I had lots of instructions, but yeah, okay. So I do, well, we'll come back to that. So this is a small list um, of the strengths and advantages. You can address something in a limited number of sessions. As I said, I'll keep an eye on the clock, and I'll kind of address the extreme tension before the end of session. Generally, there's a lot of depth, breadth, and it lasts a really long time. Usually, once you've shifted something energetically, you're kind of done with that piece. That doesn't mean that there's not another aspect of the problem that might not come back. There's a low risk of adverse events. There's a very low risk of getting triggered by stuff, because it kind of calms the system down quite quickly. But at the same time, just to acknowledge, it also it also opens things, so you get more connected to yourself. So for example, if you started tapping and you weren't very connected, a bit like the story of the dissociation, you get more and more present, more and more connected, and of course then the tears will come, et cetera, and then you'll move through that as you continue to tap. um, so yeah, it can address a wide range of things all at the same time. it's it's suitable for online and phone sessions as well. Ooh, no, that's not working. There we go. So this is the picture of it, which I was hoping to be able to share with you while being able to see you at the same time. But um, you can all see me, and I think you can see each other if you choose to see each other. I can't. Yeah. Anyway, so you've got a picture of the points. So I'm just going to go through the points with you before we go back to and work together as a group for a little bit. And all I can do with the whole recording thing is to say that I will um, just keep the parts that don't have participants within it. So to start with emotional freedom technique, you would either tap the side of your hand or hold the center of your chest and acknowledge the issue. So you'd say something like, "Even though this is happening, I deeply and completely accept myself." And sometimes that's not possible. It's not possible to say that. Um, but sometimes it is. And it's a really powerful statement. And it helps you to connect with the problem. And it also helps to address reversal, which I can't explain right now because we don't have enough time. But well, that doesn't seem fair. So reversal is that even when we're really set on an intention, we often have patterns that make us continue with that with that pattern, even though we want to address it. So like, I really want to lose weight, but or I really want to change my eating habits, but I continue to eat the same things. Um, or uh, or addiction. Addiction and food is pretty similar in um, yeah, in terms of the body and the psychology. So I really want to stop drinking, but I find that I keep drinking. So I'm going to go through the just the routine. So you'd start with acknowledging and saying, even though this is going on, I deeply and completely accept myself. And then you tap on the top of the head, eyebrow. So it's right. Just use the map in front of you and follow my fingers. So I go through outside eye, under eye, under nose, chin, under collarbone. So it's about an inch under the collarbone, and about an inch from the center. Ribs. It's about 4 inches under the armpit, although it looks a lot closer in the picture. And then thumb, always on the thumb side for the fingers, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, side of hand, inside wrist. This one's new, it's not on there. And take a deep breath. Yeah? Brenda? You want to have a go? Okay, I can't hear you. There you go.
That would be awesome.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to put you on, speaker so that I can see you. Maybe I'll be able to see, yeah. So how are you feeling? What do you notice? What are you aware of?
Well, my whole day, I have just been really close to tears, and I'm not 100% sure why.
Okay.
Some of it's gratitude, I know that, but then other times I'm not sure what else is going on.
Okay.
And as you were having Kath check in with her body, I realized I have like this pain that's like creeping up the back of my head. And so I kind of went through the process with you walking it through her, and
Yeah.
it's better, but it's still definitely there. I don't know if the two of those are together or if they're separate.
Okay. If the tears and the tension up your neck it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, in terms of getting relief from the practice, it doesn't really matter whether you're all one, so they will connect in the process of it. What does it feel like kind of being a demo? Do you feel okay? Does it feel, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're aware of the tension in your neck. Are you aware of anything else as you scan your body?
I'm extremely tired this afternoon. It's only afternoon where I'm at. So
Okay. Okay. And are you feeling tearful now as well? Is that present?
yeah, it's like right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's just start with acknowledging all of that.
Okay.
So even though I have this tension in my neck and this tearfulness, and I'm absolutely exhausted.
Do you want me to say it? Sorry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So even though I have this tension in my neck and I'm absolutely exhausted
And tearful,
and tearful,
I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Yeah. Even though
I have this tension and pain in my neck and I'm tearful, I love and accept myself.
Yeah. It's just breathing into your heart for a little bit. Should we try? Do you want to tap or hold? Tap?
I'll tap.
Okay. So just noticing the tension in the neck, the tearfulness, letting yourself really drink it in. Just really let it be there. Just listening. This tearfulness, this tension. Eyebrow. This tearfulness, this tension. Outside eye. This tiredness. Under eye. This tension, this tiredness, this tearfulness. And what do you notice?
There's like tingling all in the back of my head.
Where the tension was, or the tension is?
Actually, like it was on this side. Now the tingling is spread across my whole back of my head.
Okay. And how's the tearfulness doing?
Comes in waves.
Yeah. It's just keep coming back to that neck, that tearfulness, that tiredness. Index finger, middle finger. What are you aware of now? Still tingly? Finger.
Tingling is gone. It feels like I'm waking up. That makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I have more energy in my head so it can stay awake and focus.
Yeah. Yeah. Still have a tearfulness, looks like. A little bit? Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
So let's just do the eye movement. So if you tap on the back of your hand in between those two bones. Yeah. And as I said earlier, everyone who's listening, it's good to tap along. And so you might want to try the eye movements as we try them as well. So keep your head in the same position, look straight ahead. Eyes closed. Eyes open. Heart down left. Heart down right. Around in a circle. And in the opposite direction. And hum a tune. Count to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4,
9.
and hum a tune. And take a deep breath. And what are you aware of now?
I feel calmer. I feel like I'm going to cry.
No? Is the tearfulness gone?
Well, no, as soon as you said that, it came back.
Okay. Okay, so let's give it a measure. So it's out of 10, it started at what level when we started? And it could get bigger. I don't have a preference. I just want to know how it is now.
About a 7, and it's probably down to a 5.
Okay. Okay. And the tension in your neck, where did it start and where is it now?
It was probably about a 9, and it's probably about a 3.
Okay, great.
That's
Great progress
better.
on both of those. Yeah. So should we work on it a little bit more?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay. So even though I still have some tension and tearfulness.
Even though I still have some tension and fearfulness.
Tearfulness.
Fearfulness. I have fearfulness too. Apparently.
Okay. I deeply and completely.
I deeply and completely.
And you said love and accept myself.
Yeah. Love and
Okay.
accept myself.
Okay. Did your body hear you? Okay. Okay. So top of head. I'm not sure what that noise is. But can people mute themselves, please? Oh, I don't know what to do with that. Okay. So just staying with that feeling, the tearfulness, the feeling in your neck. Do they have colors?
It wasn't a black square, my neck, or like
Okay.
rectangle.
Yeah.
Tears don't really have a color, I guess.
Okay. So what's the neck like now? If you said it was a black square.
It's light gray.
Okay. Is it still square?
One side of it is disappearing.
Okay. And can you still feel the tension?
No, it's the tingling is coming back into my head again. Like it
Okay.
went away, but now it's all tingling again.
Okay. What else are you noticing in your body, in yourself?
Uh, I think my body's starting to relax more.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Great. I'm going to tap through one more time. Just taking a breath on each point. For numbers, where are you at with your neck and your tearfulness? Tears.
I'd say the neck is pretty much gone.
Okay.
The tears are probably at a 3.
Okay. That sounds pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Take a deep breath. Thank you so much, Brenda. How are you feeling now?
Much better.
Hmm.
It's
Good.
interesting that the tingling is gone, but it's like you can feel, I don't know, like the blood moving up my head or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. The tingling is gone and the pain's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I don't feel like I'm doing this right now, but I was only doing it on this shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I
Cool.
just much more relaxed and
Mm.
peaceful.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.